call this meeting of the Oskaloosa City Council to order. Today is Tuesday, September 8th, 2015. We'll start with the invocation. If you would stand with me and bow your head. Heavenly Father, as we assemble here tonight, we thank you for the blessing we have of being a part of this community together in Oskaloosa. We recognize your blessing comes with responsibility. And so our prayer is that each of us would be granted a humble spirit in all our deliberations, giving due consideration to the trust that citizens have given us. Please grant us wisdom, honesty, integrity, and high purpose. May the words of our mouths and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable in your sight. Amen. Amen. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Versteeg?
Yes.
Walling?
Here.
Yates? Caligiuri?
Here.
Jimenez?
Here.
Moore? Here. Van Zetten?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is the opportunity for community comments. It's an item reserved to receive comments from the community for concerns, whether or not they're included on the current agenda. The community is encouraged to come and speak before the mayor and city council, asked to keep statements brief. Time shall be limited to no more than 3 minutes. Any questions are to be asked to the city staff, the council members, or the mayor prior to speaking to the full council, so that way concerns can be properly researched and perhaps even answered away from the meeting. Comments are to be directed to the mayor and city council only. And I get asked from time to time what the difference is between speaking now versus speaking later in the meeting. And what I would stress is that we have a couple of hearings where there is no time limit. Those tend to be things where we're doing something on a bid project, where we're fixing a street or a building, some sort of construction. So all the other times, we generally do not call to the public to speak. And so this is an opportunity. For example, I believe we also have the a reduction in a sanitary sewer charge, and so this is the opportunity to speak now. Is there anyone who would care to speak? Yes, ma'am. And please come to the microphone. And also a slight change from the way we usually do things, if you would tell me if you live in Oskaloosa or not. We have had it happen where people who have come to the microphone stated their address, and then other folks turned around and published those addresses, and so I want to depart from that previous practice. Just if you live in the city of Oskaloosa.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm Cheryl Conaway, and I had purchased my property in July, and I moved there in 2011, July 2011. And directly behind my property, it lies a sewer access area, which I marked in red on those plat surveys that I gave you. I didn't have enough for each of you, I'm sorry. It's lot 13, and when I moved to the property, which is highlighted in yellow, that property behind lot 13 was filled with brush, broken cement, bricks, carpet remnants. People had told me, neighbors from years and years had been taking trash and burning it there on the property. There were pallets that were broken. Anyway, I cut all the brush down and into sizes that I could haul out to the snow dump area. And I made 5 trips out there. Then I began in the spring of 2012 calling the city, Public Works, administrative offices to help them get that area cleaned up, which I never got any response from them, none whatsoever. And at that time, I wasn't keeping track of who I was talking to or the times that I called, but I called several times. So in the spring of this year, I had 2 other neighbors back behind me help me pick up the miscellaneous trash, which couldn't go to the snow dump area, and I paid to have it hauled to the landfill. Then I bought a large bag of grass seed and a bale of straw to mulch the area to get the grass growing back there. And I included copies of my receipts for those items too. And it was $47.05. And then in July, late July, I received a water bill of $225.37. And I called the water department and talked to them. They explained to me that part of the reason that was so high was that I didn't realize that the sewer usage goes up as well as the water usage. Of course, I knew that, but not the sewer usage since I was watering this property back there.
Hey, Cheryl?
Yes.
The 3 minutes is up. Do you have 1 or 2 concluding comments?
Yes. I am asking, I have paid $100 towards this $225.37. I am requesting, because I hauled all the junk and the trash out of there, that the city assist with the remaining $125.37, please.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would care to speak? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Next item is the consent agenda. These are items that are routine in nature. No discussion is particularly anticipated. I would draw the council's attention to item F, where we're scheduling a public hearing on October 5, levying a special assessment against private property for weed cutting. Item H, where there's a resolution to temporarily close South 8th Street on 1st Avenue East to 2nd Avenue East on September 13 for an event by the Central Reformed Church. Item J, where we consider a resolution to approve the final plat for the William Penn University addition and their request to waive the preliminary one. And then 2 more. Item K, resolution setting a date for a public hearing on charges of selling alcoholic beverages to a minor. That's against Casey's on October 5th. And the last item on the agenda is the consider of a motion supporting Main Street's Oskaloosa Challenge Grant application with the Iowa Economic Development Authority. I believe that's a $75,000 grant. Do we have a motion regarding the consent agenda?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on it?
I'd still like to pull L out
Okay.
for discussion.
So item L, we'll pull that off and discuss separately. Any else? Roll call, please.
Walling.
Yes.
Calajuri.
Yes.
Jimenez.
Yes.
Moore. Yes. Van Zetten.
Yes.
Versteg.
Yes.
Okay. Those all pass. Item L, let me get to that page. The description of it is that Main Street Oskaloosa is applying for up to $75,000 from the Main Street Iowa Challenge Grant for the purpose of applying the funds towards an individual property rehabilitation project. The funding recipient is anticipated to be the Oskaloosa Downtown Development LLC and will assist in their efforts to rehab the SWIMS building. Approval of this item provides direction to the mayor to execute the attached letter of support for the grant application. Approval of this item is consistent with the City Council's support of downtown reinvestment and revitalization efforts done in a collaborative effort and through grant funding sources. Staff is recommending approval of this item. Tom, you wanted to talk about it. What do you got in your mind?
Yeah, my question is, in that description, if you go on down there, it says there is no financial impact associated with the approval of this item for the City of Oskaloosa organization. But as I read in the body, it talks for a one-by-one match for the grant.
Can you give a reference?
Page II, grant criteria, 3rd paragraph.
Okay. is where it says Main Street Iowa Communities. Is that the paragraph?
The grant amount.
First
Oh.
one.
Okay.
Must invest a minimum of $1 for dollar cash match and must supply requested financial information to show that the match requirement is being satisfied. My question is, well, who's the match? I've understood odd, they aren't putting any money in it.
Okay. Yeah, so Beth, I believe you're the author of the grant request.
Yep. Oskaloosa Downtown Development actually will be putting money into it. We've got a mortgage loan from Midwest One. It's conditional on receiving the funds, but Oskaloosa Downtown Development will provide the match to that. It's just,
Because when I talked to Jim after our other meeting, I understood him to say that Odd was not putting any personal money into it. So that's why I was questioning that. So, okay,
and
it's not
in a
the
forward,
city.
in a forward conversation,
Okay,
correct.
Great,
Yes.
thanks, Beth.
Yes, you're welcome.
Any other questions or comments regarding this? Roll call, please. Well, let's see, wait a minute. Do we need a motion to approve? Sorry about that.
Second.
Okay. No discussion. Roll call.
Caliguri.
Yes.
Jimenez.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Van Zetten.
Yes.
Versteg.
Yes.
Walling.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item 6, this is the announcement of vacancies that we have for various boards and commissions. First one is the Airport Commission, one vacancy to fill upon appointment of an unexpired term ending on December 31st of 2015. It's a 5-member board that typically meets on the first Monday of the month. Currently, we have 4 males and no females serving, one vacancy. Historic Preservation Commission, 2 vacancies to fill upon appointment for unexpired terms ending December 31st of 2015 and December 31st of 2016. And 2 vacancies for alternate members, and this is a 7-member board that meets as needed. 1 male, 4 females currently serving, 4 vacancies, 2 for alternate members. Next is the Mahaska County Solid Waste Management Commission. We have 5 vacancies to fill for 1-year terms that end on December 31st of 2016. It's a 5-member board that typically meets the second Thursday of the month. We have 3 males and 1 female currently serving, 1 vacancy there. And then the Municipal Housing Agency, we have 1 vacancy to fill upon appointment for an unexpired term ending February 28 of 2017. It's a 5-member board that typically meets quarterly, 2 males and 2 females currently serving with 1 vacancy. And into the regular agenda we go. So item 7A, this is to consider a request from Cheryl Conaway for reduction of the sanitary sewer charges for the property located at 802 North A Street. The explanation that the council was given, Cheryl is requesting a reduction in the sewer charges billed to her property at 802 North A. There's a letter that's attached that she wrote to the city and to myself that the reason for the water usage increase is due to her attempt to beautify and enhance the neighborhood and the city of Oskaloosa. There was an increase in water and sewer charges for the quarter ending on July 25th, 2015, which is the quarter with the excessive usage. The charges for the previous 3 quarters amounted to $4.66 for each unit of water and $3.63 in sewer charges per each unit of water, with a minimum charge of $22.76. The charges for the July 25th, 2015 billing are $5.13 for each unit of water and $4.17 in sewer charges for each unit of water, and so a minimum charge of $26.19. So the average water usage for the previous 3 quarters was 9.5 units, and the amount used in the quarter with the excessive usage is 20 units. Sanitary sewer charges for the period in question amount to $109.59 for the 20 units of water, and the average usage of 9.5 units of water would amount to $65.80 at the current rate. So the result is a possible reduction of $43.79. In August of 2010, the City Council had adopted a sanitary sewer leak adjustment policy that stated the city shall not provide sanitary sewer customers a reduction or a waiver in service fees or charges. However, in this case, the request is not due to a leak, and so under consideration is a possible reduction in sanitary sewer revenue of $43.79. And so, like I mentioned, Cheryl's letter is in here, as well as a copy of the resolution passed in 2010. Do I have a motion from the council regarding this request?
Second.
And what are you moving?
do you want me to request?
$43.79 reduction.
Right, we should pay all of it.
But that's not what she asked for.
She asked for 125.43, wasn't it?
She asked for $43.79.
No. She, at her statement earlier, was $125 or something like that.
Well, here it says $102.60, and over here it says,
$125.37.
yeah.
Yeah.
125.
So, back to the motion. The motion is for $43.79, is that correct?
Yeah, that's,
No, my motion is for her request.
Okay,
She had 125.37.
That's correct.
okay. And then the second, who was that?
That was me. Mine was with
And you're with that as well? Okay.
Question. Is this to reimburse or to reduce?
She has only paid 100 of it.
Okay, so it's
So
to
she
reduce.
has the balance of 125.37 is what she's wanting to
So we would reduce.
reduce.
And what was the
Okay.
amount again, please?
125.37.
Thank you.
Okay. Discussion?
Did you ever get a second?
Yes.
Yeah.
Joe had it.
Okay.
Okay, roll call, please.
Jimenez,
Yes.
Moore,
yes.
Van Zetten,
Yes.
Versteg,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Caliguri,
Yes.
Okay, and that passes. Moving on. Let's consider a resolution adopting the plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimated cost for the 2015 sanitary and storm sewer improvements project. Garden and Associates has prepared plans and specs for the 2015 sanitary and storm sewer improvements project. This item allows staff to proceed with the scheduling of a public hearing on the plans and specs and a bid letting date for the project. Project has a base bid and 2 alternate bids. Scope of the base bid includes sanitary and stormwater improvements on South L Street and South M Street. That's between sanitary sewer manholes M62.2 and M36, and also on Penn Boulevard between sanitary manholes N60 and N66. Alternate bid number 1 includes sanitary improvements on South K Street between manholes M62A and M63, and alternate bid number 2 includes sanitary sewer improvements between Penn Boulevard and North E Street. That would be between manholes N66 and N68. Engineer cost estimates for the project are $701,112 for the base bid, $62,389 for alternate bid number 1, and $65,929 for alternate bid number 2. Anticipated work completion, 90 working days for the base bid, 15 days for the alternate 1, and 15 days for alternate 2. So now is the time for interested persons to express their opinions concerning the project, plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimated cost. And so I'll open the public hearing at this time. Is there anyone who would care to speak to this project? Okay, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Do we have a motion approving the resolution for the project plan specs, form of contract, and the estimated costs?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any comments? Roll call, please.
Moore,
Yes.
Van Zetten,
Yes.
Versteg,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Caliguri,
Yes.
Jimenez,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Goes to item C. This is to consider a resolution awarding or rejecting the contract for the 2015 sanitary and storm sewer improvements project. The project was advertised, bids were received and publicly read on August 27th. There were 3 bids, and the low bid is from Cornerstone Excavating, which is in the amount of $1,051,165.75 for the base bid, $95,365 for the alternate bid 1, and $99,000 for the alternate bid number 2. The low bid is much higher than the engineer's cost estimate of $701,000 for the base bid, $62,389 for alternate bid 1, and $65,929 for alternate bid 2. Staff is recommending to reject all bids in an effort to repost the project. The recommendation is based on the desire to increase the number of bids and improve the proposed responsiveness by modifying the specs to change the construction time period. Delaying the construction start date to April 2016 may generate more interest. So if the project is awarded by the council at this time, construction would be proposed to commence in October. The anticipated work completion time, 90 days for the base, 15 for alternate 1, and 15 days for alternate 2. So do we have a motion to reject or accept the bid?
Move to reject.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Van Zetten,
Yes.
Versteg,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Caliguri,
Yes.
Jimenez,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Okay, that passes as a rejection. Let's see, item D, considering a resolution approving the plans, specs, form of contract, and estimated cost for the B Avenue East Pavement Rehabilitation Project. City of Oskaloosa Engineering Division staff has prepared plans and specs for the B Avenue East Pavement Rehab Project. The scope of the project includes new concrete pavement, ADA sidewalks and ramps, sanitary and storm sewer improvements, curb and gutter replacement along B Avenue East between North Market Street and North 3rd Street. The project consists of a base bid from North 1st Street to North 2nd Street, alternate bid number 1, which is North 2nd Street to North 3rd Street, and alternate bid number 2, which is North Market Street to North 1st Street. The engineer's cost estimate for this project, $168,850 for the base bid, $57,425 for alternate bid number 1, and $71,050 for alternate bid number 2. If the project is awarded, construction is proposed to commence in late September of this year. Anticipated work completion time, 30 working days, with 10 additional working days allotted for each of the alternate bids. So now's the time for interested persons to express their opinions regarding the project plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimated cost. So I'll open the public hearing at this time. Is there anyone who would care to speak? And seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Do we have a motion regarding the resolution approving the plans, specs, form of contract, and estimated cost for the B Avenue East Pavement Rehabilitation Project?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Versteeg.
Yes.
Walling.
Yes.
Caligiuri.
Yes.
Jimenez.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Van Zetten.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item E, consider a resolution awarding the contract for the B Avenue East Pavement Rehabilitation Project to TK Concrete. The B Avenue East Rehabilitation Project was advertised, bids received, and publicly read on August 26th. So the base bids, alternate bids were as mentioned before. 2 bids were received with the lowest apparent bid submitted by TK Concrete Incorporated. Base bid was in the amount of $139,880. Alternate bid number 1, $44,830, and alternate bid 2 was in the amount of $55,285. These amounts were all lower than the engineer's estimate of $168,850 for the base, $57,425 for alternate bid 1, and $71,050 for the alternate bid 2. So the project will allow replacing the existing pavement with 7-inch thick concrete. The project funds are sufficient to complete the base bid and alternate bid number 1, but not alternate bid number 2. If the project is awarded, construction would be proposed to commence in late September of this year. Anticipated work completion is 30 working days for the base bid and an additional 10 working days for alternate bid 1. If council awards this construction contract, then staff recommends authorizing an additional 5% of the contract amount, $9,000, as construction contingency for unforeseen circumstances, and also to authorize the city manager to execute all related contract documents contingent upon receipt and approval of insurance and bond documents. And so do we have a motion to approve the resolution awarding the project to TK Concrete for the base bid and the alternate bid number 1?
So moved.
Second.
And that includes the contingency of $9,000, right? Okay. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Walling.
Yes.
Caligiuri.
Yes.
Jimenez.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Van Zetten.
Yes.
Versteeg.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item F. So consider a resolution supporting Mahaska County's consideration of creating a county administrator position. At the Mahaska County Board of Supervisors meeting on Monday, August 17, County Supervisor Mike Vandermolen discussed the option of hiring a county administrator. Supervisor Vandermolen expressed interest in changing the format of the board from 3 to 5 supervisors, which would open it up for more individuals to run, and creating a county administrator, which would have the county government run similar to the city government. The Oskaloosa City Council understands the benefit of professional management. According to the International City-County Management Association, employing a professional manager or administrator frees elected officials from the administration of daily operations and gives them time to focus on the policy issues that will guide the future of the community. It empowers the elected officials to provide leadership, develop a vision for the community, and determine what services are to be provided to citizens, lobby the state legislature on the community's behalf, and communicate and forge new relationships with constituents. The professional manager, appointed by the governing body, oversees the day-to-day operation and the implementation of policy. Professional administrators are appointed by and serve at the pleasure of the elected legislative body. They generally do not have guaranteed terms of service or tenure. They're evaluated based on their responsiveness to the elected legislative body and to the community, and on their ability to provide efficient and effective services. If the administrator is not responsive to the elected officials, he or she may be terminated at any time. In that sense, the manager or administrator's responsiveness is tested daily. This item would allow the City Council to express its support for the county's continued consideration of creating a county administrator position for Mahaska County. Do we have a motion supporting this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Well, you can see I'm part of this, and wouldn't you know it, then I had a person I respect, say, that might not be a very good idea because they're going to think we're telling them what to do. Well, that's not the reason I came up with it. I just want to support it as something they ought to look into. So I just want a record on that, but I am for it.
Mm-hmm.
Is this just creating the administrator position or the 5-member board as well?
This would be support for just for the position, the county administrator position. Now, I think, I guess I shouldn't go any further with that, and because Mike Vandermolen isn't here to speak to it, and I don't want to put words in his mouth.
So if they go to a 5-member board, is that a vote of us? Does that go to the people? How does that work? How does that process happen?
We'd have to ask them. Yeah, I would think the voters would go.
And same with the change of the government itself, it would be the voters, as far as I understand. There are other options. I suppose you could create an administrator position via ordinance. There's some different options that could be considered, but I think the idea behind the item that was presented tonight is just to encourage the county to continue discussions about exploring the pros and cons of it, the whole proposal by Supervisor Vandermolen.
Mm-hmm. So I think as far as the City of Oskaloosa is concerned, ours has been a pretty good experience with having the city manager form of government. And so from that perspective, I think we speak with some authority to be able to say, yes, we have experience with this and it works well. Yeah. Other comments? Roll call, please.
Caligiuri.
Yes.
Jimenez.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Van Zetten.
Yes.
Versteg.
Yes.
Walling.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item G is consider a resolution directing the mayor to negotiate and execute a 2080 agreement between the City of Oskaloosa, Iowa and University Park, Iowa on the Burlington Road Improvements Project. This item seeks to formalize a partnership between Oskaloosa and University Park for the purpose of making joint infrastructure improvements on Burlington Road. Under this agreement, University Park will be the lead agency responsible for designing, letting, constructing, and inspecting improvements to Burlington Road from the east city limits of University Park to approximately Highway 23 in Oskaloosa, roughly 4,200 linear feet in University Park and 425 feet in Oskaloosa. Planned scope of work for Burlington Road involves all work associated with the complete concrete street reconstruction. Existing chip seal pavement will be removed. Any gravel road will be paved. The new street pavement and curb and gutter will be reconstructed in 7-inch thick concrete with 4-inch diameter longitudinal subdrains installed along each side. The new street pavement will be 25 foot in width. Stormwater improvements, including intakes and reinforced concrete piping, will also be installed. City Council of Oskaloosa has previously shown support for completing this work by authorizing the necessary funds in the previous and current fiscal years. However, due to unanticipated delays, University Park did not initiate the project. Staff is recommending approval of this item. Do we have a motion supporting this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Are you a good negotiator?
Yes, I am.
Okay, then.
Yeah, and I look forward to negotiating with George Tebekis.
Mayor and Council, Mayor Tebekis and I have had a number of emails and phone conversations about this issue, and he is also presenting a similar draft agreement, actually probably the same one, to his council tonight, asking for similar permission to iron out details. Based on his last response, it looked like he was good with the proposed changes that I made in this latest version. So I don't know how much more other than signature will need to occur.
Okay. Any other comments? Roll call, please.
Jimenez.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Van Zetten.
Yes.
Versteg.
Yes.
Walling.
Yes.
Caligiuri.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Takes us to item H. Consider a resolution rejecting all bids for municipal improvements identified as the Oskaloosa Fire Department renovation and expansion, Oskaloosa, Iowa. Bid opening for the city's fire station remodel and expansion project was held on September 1st at 2:00 p.m. City received 4 bids, all of which exceeded the estimated project cost. Staff recommends a rejection of all the bids due to funding constraints and a rebid to occur later this winter. Additional information associated with the project has been included with this item, including a memo from the city's architect, bid results, and resolution formalizing the city's action with this item. I think the low bid came in 37% high. Do you have a motion for this rejection?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Do we know why these things are coming in so high?
Yeah, I think obviously this is much higher than we expected. I think a lot of it has to do with timing for the work itself. A number of the contractors are busy, and I think there were some concerns about the winter months. So I think those were some of the primary drivers, and we're still working to figure out exactly what some of the details of, between the bid differences between our architect's estimate versus the contractor's pricing. Yeah, it's not great to see 2 projects come in that way, but I guess I would say we're seeing that in other places when it comes to sewer work and also building construction, that they're coming in higher.
So it looks to you, because everybody's busy, these projects are coming in higher?
I think that's part of it, yes. I think we need to have serious conversations about what we think might need to be changed, or whether or not it's bid out as an alternate for the facility. I mean, I think everything's on the table, including not finishing the 2nd floor or the 3rd floor, which is disappointing, significantly disappointing. But hopefully it won't have to go to that extent. But the voters approved a certain dollar amount. Unless you as council want to go back out and ask the voters to approve a higher debt issuance, then I would think we need to work backwards and then try to rebid this before going any further.
And we were figuring that at $250 a square foot, which I think we all talked about. We all felt that was pretty steep as it was.
Yeah, right. Those little figures.
And now we're at 300, 325. I mean, come on.
We have to change the project by $1 million, but we have to take that back to the people then, if they voted on this project.
They voted on the amount.
They voted on
About the dollar
The
amount.
dollar amount?
Yeah, so, yeah, they weren't voting on a project. You could argue they were voting on a project, but, yeah, they were voting on the issuance of the debt.
Okay.
And so options for the council will include finding another funding source to make up that money, and I'm telling you, I don't think that's a viable option. So I think we need to get back to talking to the contractors, looking at our bid timing, and seeing if we can get some more competition.
We're changing the project.
And changing the project. I think that's going to be an alternate option. I think we need to talk about that and prioritize.
If we were to change the project to bring that down, does that have to be reapproved, or are we approved with the voter amount? I mean, can we make changes?
Yeah, the voters approved the debt issuance, so the dollar amount that would be issued for debt, which we've already issued the bonds. We're going to receive the money on the 10th.
But if they approve that project attached to this building, the historical significance of it, and we have to change that, then what?
And I think politically, that's a question that you as council would have to answer. Do you want to go back out and ask the voters to pay, to raise or issue more debt or not? I think the council was, we're trying to deliver that project, but stay within that dollar amount.
We're going to be real practical about it.
How does this bid process?
Was that your question, Aaron? Your question was really, does it have to look the same, was it?
Well, I think it should look the same. I mean, I don't want to just say anything attached to this building.
Well, it's not attached to this building.
That's where I'm going. Can we have a standalone fire station somewhere else? Keep this one here, put another one on the west side of the tracks, and still stay within that figure, that dollar figure.
When we looked at that two years ago, year and a half, 2 years ago, the costs were basically, they were higher to go off-site if you had to do the site work and the
You know what, I don't think
the
that was
land
a true
counts.
figure. And never gave us the real answer
No,
anyway
he
on
never
that.
did.
That's what I think on that, so.
But I think the people that, again, when we received input from
I know.
the core group of people that were surveyed essentially, to a person, they said, keep it here. I think our staff would like to keep everything in one location as well for the ease of operations. I would really like to have an opportunity to work with the architects to get this thing within the expected amounts. If we can't do that, then I think, yeah, we need to have additional discussions about what it means as far as a project.
I think we need to have additional discussion anyway.
As far as the bid process goes, how does that work? Do we just put that out there, they go to this website and they look at it? So these are contractors that are quite frankly used to dealing with cities? Or are we out actually actively looking for people that, are we sending this bid package out to other people?
I'd say yes to both.
Okay. So we're actively seeking contractors saying, hey, here's our bid package.
There was one particular contractor that Will had dealt with specifically and asked, hey, are you going to put in? And they in fact did. So I mean, it's both. I mean, there are publications that go out to the contractors. We get called incessantly by these people to know when we're going to bid it, who was low bid. They want to know that so they can post that in their journals, basically, and in their mailing list.
You don't think we can just strictly rebid it as is and get that $1 million out of there, do you? I'm asking.
wouldn't be comfortable. Give me the podium. Well,
And I don't mean today, I mean ever.
Yeah. And your name, please.
Sure. Will Downing with Rohrbach Associates. To answer your question, I wouldn't be comfortable rebidding it as it is drawn today, and assuming that we could realize 35% production.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty high.
I think
How many bid packages as you, as a company, are putting out there right now?
how many projects for bid?
Yeah.
We bid, on an average, would probably be about 3 per month.
So are you seeing our project relatively higher than the other projects that you're seeing?
In the last 4 months, we've seen projects coming in unexpectedly high, but not across the board, but depending on type of projects. Renovation has been higher than expected compared to new construction.
I guess being this far off, I mean, I'm looking at you. You guys put the numbers together. I mean, was there a mistake inside the numbers?
Obviously, yes, there was a mistake inside the numbers. We had based the numbers on historical data from several similar types of construction, fire stations, and we'd also sought the advice of general contractors who were not intending to bid the project but had experience with similar commercial construction. And then we also use a nationally published guide for construction estimating that we use to divide the various types of work within the building and evaluate.
And that's a typical process.
That's a typical process.
That's
exactly.
it's not unique.
Yep.
Any further comments? Motion is to reject. Roll
Thanks,
call.
Will.
4.
No, wait, read the.
Reject.
Reject.
Reject, yes, reject. Yes. Yes, I'm for rejecting.
Okay. Van Zetten,
Yes.
Versteeg,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Callegeri,
Yes.
Jimenez.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Gets us to the end of the agenda. Reports from city staff. City manager.
Mayor, council, I've included one item officially and another one I'll get to. The housing action plan update I've included for you on the following page. A list of the yards of the week. Since the action taken, I think at the previous meeting, was to see anything beforehand. This obviously isn't necessarily beforehand, but at least I provided the information to you as it's occurring to the best of my ability. This is a program that is run out of the chamber, recognizing individuals who do a great job of maintaining their properties. So this is the list for, since the inception. I'll keep updating that on a monthly basis and provide it to you. And then as other items within the housing action plan occur, I'll provide you some updates, and if there are actionable items, I'll have an action item included on the agenda. So that's the first update. The second update is After tonight's meeting, I'd like to execute an agreement with the Regional Planning Association for some help to do what's called a slum and blight survey. And that's a first step for us to apply for community development block grant funds. And specifically what I'm targeting is based on previous discussions that we've had through the budgeting process and then throughout the last year for priorities about how do we revitalize downtown, how do we keep our buildings in good shape, how do we keep the corridors alive. Facade grants would be a program that would allow us as a community to have private developers, owners of the properties, also invest in their building, but also receive grant funds. It's part of the council-approved urban renewal plan as well. This is something that was contemplated. So it fits in line with all, again, this is kind of that, it all fits together. Corridor improvements, downtown improvements, facade improvements. So that's part of the first step. I intend to have a presentation to you on the details of the grant that we would hopefully apply for in February. That'll be coming up in the next 30 days. And so there'll be a presentation to you during council meeting, study session or council meeting. I'm not positive at this point, but we do want to get you additional information about the potential grant. But this is a first step to get things going. So that's what I wanted to report to you tonight.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, City Clerk, anything?
No, sir.
Okay, City Attorney's not here. Moving on. City Council members, let's start with you, Joe. Anything?
Nope, nothing.
Aaron?
No, Michael, the light again on Market and A, I've brought this up probably 50 times in the last 10 years. Is there anything we can do to increase the solid green 24 seconds? When they put that left turn signal in, they did not increase the solid green, and it just backs up traffic terrible, both north and south.
Where does the 24-second number come from?
If you are going north and you hit the light at A, red, when it turns red, look in your rear view mirror, you got these 3 lights feeding that light for 24 additional seconds.
Okay. So you would want to add 24 seconds?
Add 24 seconds onto the solid green.
Okay, and that's northbound?
Well, you'd have to add it both ways.
Yeah,
East and west both.
Okay.
And I think it's all because of the left turn signal, which I'm all for the left turn signal. I don't want to take that out, but I just think that you get a semi wanting to turn east on 92 there, that backs it up even worse. The other day, and this is the southbound Market traffic, and this is not because of school, was backed up to past C Avenue West. So that traffic is going to stop at that light at least 3 times before they get through A Avenue. And I don't know if you ever read in the Des Moines Register the comments. Somebody several months ago said, if you think traffic is bad in Indianola, you ought to try to drive through Oskaloosa. And that's probably the reason, because of that light. And I don't know if that's a DOT problem or a city problem, but we should look at it anyway.
Okay, we'll look into it.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay. Anything else? Scott? Okay. Tom?
Where, as you know, Aaron's on the Emergency Management Board representative. I'm the 911 Service Board representative, and they're working on this 28E agreement. And Aaron, you joined me, but I think we both agree with what they're saying we're going to do is instead of having it come back to councils and mayors, they're going to have the committee members vote. Now, this is just on the 2080 agreement. So it would seem to me, in talking to Mike, we may need some official direction if council wants us to do that voting when it gets here, or are we going to make a stand about some other procedure?
How much lead time would you have on that actual agreement? Would you hand it to him that night and you have to read it and go?
Well, it's out now, and I was on the subcommittee about getting the 28 put together, and it passed. So it's going to go out to these 2 boards now to vote on it. Right, Aaron?
That's the way I understand it.
So that's why I'm talking about it now. If we need to get it on the agenda, so it isn't what you're saying, Tom. It's like, okay, hurry up, got to do this in 6 days or something. One of those things.
Okay. So, Mike, this would be a resolution authorizing them to
Yeah,
vote?
I think you'd want to have an agenda item discussing kind of the pros and cons about it, if anyone cares to hear that additional detail, and then give each council member specific direction. As a group, you agree with them voting yes or no on the agreement, yeah. I don't believe the council member by themselves would have the authority to do that without the board, the council's support.
That's correct. And then we would send out the 2080 agreement
It'd be with the packet, ideally.
as early as possible so they can
Yeah.
start looking at it.
Yeah, I don't know, is there a draft is the document ready for the council to see it, or is it
Well, that's a
not?
good question, but they didn't change it
Okay,
from what I showed you, so it's,
probably is.
yes.
Okay, well, we can send that out.
I guess until Jamie Robinson schedules meetings and then says, okay, this is it, but other than that,
Okay.
it was only a subcommittee meeting, but I don't see how they can change it.
Yeah, we'll get an item put on the agenda.
Okay.
We'll probably do it on the 21st.
That's the next short chance we have, so.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Jason, anything?
Is there a projected date that the swim street is going to be open?
I don't know that offhand, honestly. I don't know the date that they'll have the building fully stabilized to do that. So I'll follow up on that and see if we can get a timetable from them.
Okay, thanks.
I don't have anything to add. We have a motion to adjourn.
Second. Yep.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Isn't that-